All right. Good evening, Speed Gaming 4.
Hi.
Welcome to Super Metroid multi-category tournament. Today we are featuring ShinyZeni versus Kashmod. My name is Tracy M. With me today is Cross Product. How you doing, Cross?
Hi. I wish you
uh,
a great commentary and race to watch.
well, we're at such a good start already.
We got a nice controller cam from ShinyZeni as well.
Let's take a look at the PBs for these guys. Zeni, I know, has got a really good 100% PB. He
Wait,
is, yes.
he's wearing a shirt that says
And is in fact the 3 seed in this tournament. And oh, he's got a 115 flat. There we go.
Nice.
Let's see what Mod has. He's got a 124.55. So that's a bit of a difference, but they chose Hundo, and that's what we're gonna see. So we're gonna see a whole lot of item fanfares, a whole lot of item pickups. We got to pick up everything. It is a forfeit if you don't pick up every item. So we
Ooh.
just saw a race on SG where Sloters happened to miss those GT missiles. Let's hope we don't see anything like that here today. So on this race.
What did he mean to go back around for them and forgot?
No, he actually just messed up the space jump. So.
Aw.
Which is really sad because Sloters is known for loving Spring Ball. He could have just used Spring Ball and been safer, but it's slower.
Looks like the race has started.
And of course, like any other Super Metroid category in this tournament, we are always going to be starting off at the series station.
All right. So you said Zeni was the higher seed. Did he ban first, or did he defer to Kashmod?
He chose to ban all bosses, and Kashmod chose to run 100%.
Okay, his choice was between 100% and GT class. Okay. It's an interesting decision. When you're up against a top tier runner like ShinyZeni, who has a sub hour in RBO, I mean, the longer the run goes on and the more items you collect, the less likely it is for the higher seed runner to just make a mistake and
Yep.
get a run-ending mistake, right? Which
Yeah,
is always
exactly.
an issue for anybody that plays Super Metroid at any skill level. Is run-ending mistakes do exist in this game. It's part of Super Metroid.
Yeah, 100%. Aside from some of the wreck ship stuff, there aren't a whole lot of places where you're gonna completely lose the run by dying. It can happen. I've seen it happen. I've calmed races where that's happened. It just doesn't happen very often. I feel like if I were the lower seed, I'd want to go for something a little more volatile, like GT Classic, just because
Right, I would
as
agree.
good as any is, everyone messes up the green gate glitch every once in a while. Everyone will mess up lava dive every once in a while, and those are a couple of choke points that are not very easy to do.
Yep.
Zenny is one of the best at both of those, so probably wouldn't mess them up. But
Well, yeah,
like I
like
said,
I
there's
said,
not a whole lot of choke points in Hundo.
sub-hour RBO. Let's see. Lava dive with Varia suit or without Varia suit?
Yeah, I am a little sad though. It's not GT Classic. Not gonna lie, Zenny actually had never run a GT Classic race. At least he hadn't put up a PB until the tournament was in its pre-tournament stages. But he's run 135% GT. So
While we're touching down on Planet Zebus here, I do want to give a shout out to our restream master, Wolfman 2000. Say hi to him in chat. Doing
yeah,
a
thank
great
you,
job
Wolf.
syncing up the streams and making sure that the race you see is actually live so that the runners are in sync. So the person that you actually see finish first is the person that wins the race. Sometimes it's a little tricky to get those things worked out, but Wolfman, no slouch on the restream desk.
And Zenny with a very nice moonfall. I love the way he does the little swag back and forth at Kashma. Just gonna use the normal fall speed,
Yep, just has to count to 6.
which isn't always the easiest thing to do when you're doing a run like this. But
And with that moonfall, Zenny's already an entire room ahead. So yeah, you want to talk about the different routes of 100% and where the possible hiccups are
sure.
on early grapple versus late grapple and all that good
So
stuff?
so the two main difference routes are whether you kill Croc early and grab the grapple beam, in which case you have the grapple beam for the run, or whether you get Ice Beam first, and use ice clip to shack tool, because the two ways most runners will get up to shack tool either be with grapple or an ice clip. There is a third way. I know it's your favorite way to do a crystal flash clip, but I doubt unless you okay, you got to promise me, cross it, if you ever run 100%, I want to see that crystal flash clip. But for the rest of
I
us,
I've got something better. If I run RBO next week, I'm gonna show you guys all something great.
oh, looking forward to that. But yeah, so we're gonna see one of those two routes. There's one other minor route difference that you might see. Some runners will choose to get power bombs early before they go to Kraid. The main reason you might do that is there is a missile in the Kraid area that you cannot get with that power bomb. So if you get the power bombs early, then you lose a little bit of time getting the power bombs, but you gain them back by missiling for those, or sorry, power bombing for those early missiles. I think Zost may still do that, but even he said, if I'm not mistaken, that it really doesn't make a huge difference. I think the biggest difference it makes is it's probably easier to remember to pick them up, because there's a
Yeah, it's
because the main choke point in 100%. There's one spot, and we'll talk about when we get to it in the wreck ship. There's a couple of places that things can go very wrong.
yeah, and
But
honestly, the having the grapple beam to get to Shack Tool is one thing, but having the grapple beam in Wreck Ship is also very useful. It's a nice backup strat if you don't have the energy to Shine
for
Spark,
sure,
and the energy tank room. It's the safest way to get across, most
yeah, absolutely.
reliable way. Yeah.
Well, yeah, the bigger choke points in 100% are more like their time losses, because you miss an item, and there's a few places that involve crumble blocks where it's very easy to accidentally miss an item.
Shout outs to Stravaris. He's like the godfather of the Super Metroid community. He didn't like it when I said that. By the way.
Wait, did Cash just get no missile drops on his VT? Oh my
Wow,
god.
that's
I don't think I've
great.
ever seen that. Oh my god.
I think the
VT.
least I've seen is maybe one.
Like,
But
you
yeah,
got
that's ref. And
none.
now it's in. Now after taking a hit, he's not guaranteed any of the drops be missiles. So, but it does manage to finish him off with pea shooter shots.
And of course, the biggest danger in 100% is we talked about that Kraid missile as being a very easy one to skip. And as we get to certain items, we'll shout them out as ones that are easy to skip. Because if you get to a point where you realize, oh wait, I don't have all the missiles, in particular the missiles, although same can be said for E-tanks, power bombs, and super missiles, it is really hard to figure out which one you actually skipped.
Yeah. One time I got to Torian. I was trying to do 100% when I got to Torian. I was like, do I have all the items? I probably do. I'm fine. And then what happened was I paused to turn off like Screw Attack and Varia for the Mother Brain and Zeb Skip and all that. And I only had 3 reserve tanks. That was a good 97% run, missing Norfair Reserve and the 2 missile packs with it.
Ouch, that's pretty bad.
Yep. So ShinyZeni does the mock ball, gets the reserve tank area early. Ooh, I want ShinyZeni. I know it's probably not optimal, but I want him to do a moon dance and clean up Eddie Coons early. That's a good first power bomb pack to get.
That is a viable route. Shout outs to Scotty McBody, or whatever he's calling himself these days, who has done that route before. But it really isn't faster, as it turns out.
Yeah, the problem is that it leaves behind waterway.
Yes,
I mean,
exactly.
Moonfall itself isn't very fast, and the fact that you can't even fully clear Big Pink unless you do something really stupid. But it is possible. It's just I don't think it's faster. Hello. Oh. I'll have to run some tests. I did play around with doing a full Big Pink clear early in some RBO runs this week.
Mm-hmm.
And I couldn't see it as any faster than just doing your heck runs and getting speed booster and coming back.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of risky too. But we'll see.
Okay, you're gonna see Zeni's gonna skip this missile here. It's a tiny bit faster to come back and get it later when you have power bombs.
Yeah,
Is
he's
the way the
gonna
wall
have to
works.
come back here for an energy tank while he's waiting for that power bomb to explode. That's slightly faster to get the missile pack at that point. So.
Exactly.
All right, so say bye to the animals, but we'll be back.
And there's also a missile in this Green Hill Zone early. That Zeni could pick up, but again, he'll pick that up. We're gonna be back in Brinstar later on, so yeah, we're definitely he'll get that then. Okay, we're not gonna see early power bombs from Zeni. That's not really a surprise. I really think that the biggest reason to do the early power bombs here would be literally for that peace of mind that you're gonna just get that crate missile right away, rather than going ahead and picking up later.
And here's an oft unseen beam. Unless you...
Well,
Well,
tries a
any
new route
percent
will
new
route.
route,
Yeah,
yeah.
new route picks it up, but yeah, we're gonna get that spazer.
But we don't get to see it in GT Classic. We get,
Well,
in fact, it
we
is the
see it.
bane. It is the
We
bane of GT
Yeah,
Classic runs, in fact.
it is the thing that we unequip in GT Classic.
It's the thing you have to turn off so you don't break the game.
Exactly.
All right, kashmod is also descending red tower, so he's not going to do the early power bomb, early crate missile strat. You know what? One of the strats that came out in a 100% tournament a couple years back was I forget. It was somebody in my group, and the idea was that you come back for crate missiles after picking up grapple beam when you're on your way to wreck ship, so that you get the health refill from the frog pocket E tank. So
Oh,
you don't forget the missile pack, and you also get a health refill when you're going into the most dangerous part of the run. So
that's an
uh,
interesting.
I
I'd
really
never.
like that little variation.
Yeah, that's a cool one. I'd never thought of that. At the 100% tournament, it was just a little bit before my time, so um, didn't quite get to see that bit. And it's heading into his crate fight. We'll see if he can get a quick kill here.
Yeah, and chat's also mentioning that the early power bomb route is kind of similar in time to what we're seeing from these runners now. But if you go to early power bombs, it's really tricky movement. Getting up, doing the hero shot to get up red tower, and then having to avoid stuff that does a ton of damage because the game expects you to have Varia suit at that point. Speaking of, Zenny just picked it up.
Yeah,
And
we often talk about whether something's faster or slower, but sometimes what's faster is faster only when it's done optimally. And if you can't do something optimally, then you're better off just going with the quote unquote slower thing. Because if it's slower for you, it doesn't matter if it's faster for the best players in the world.
right, and to that end, I actually am going to bring up low ice for a second. If you do low ice and you go down the crate and pick up Varia suit so that you have more safety for the Fantoon fight, if your Fantoon fight is slow, well, guess what? Going to grab the Varia suit early, I did some timing. It only loses 45 seconds to go fight crate and get Varia suit and go back up red tower to take on Fantoon with the Varia suit. So if you're going to lose 45 seconds hiding in a corner shooting for drops against Fantoon, which is how I fight Fantoon, then it might actually be faster to take something a little safer like early Varia in low percent ice.
That's fair. So for those of you think we might see some low percent ice in a couple weeks because week 3 is when we start seeing RBO and low ice showing up in the category pool. Next week is going to be RBO. The week after will be low ice. So
yeah, the idea is that RBO and low ice are tougher categories for sure. So one or the other may show up in the game list. So you always have the option to ban one, right? But
that's right.
is it the bracket stage semifinals or something? Somewhere later in the tournament, they will RBO and low ice show together in the same pool of categories.
Okay, so we can talk about. I mean, we can talk about a little bit how brackets will actually work. It's actually shout outs to Kip for coming up with this strategy for doing the brackets. I really like it. I thought he came up with a really nice idea. So the first thing that's going to happen is both runners are going to ban a category of the 7 that just will not be run. And then the first 2, it will be best of 3. So then each player is going to choose a category that will be run. So each player gets to choose something they're comfortable with trying to run. And then if it goes to game 3, there's 3 categories left. And the third game will be randomly chosen between those 3 categories. So I'm really looking forward to that bracket setup. It's going to be really neat.
But for right now, basically it means you won't get stuck having to run RBO or low ice because you will always have the option to ban it in the early stages of the tournament.
Yeah, and we did that on purpose because if you're making it to brackets, I don't think it's wrong to expect you to be able to run just about anything. We do have a lot of really strong players in this tournament, but we also want to be beginner friendly. So we want to
Yeah.
make sure that the newer runners can still participate even if they can't do some of those harder categories.
Just gonna
And
call
that's
out real
also
quick.
yeah, go ahead.
Zeni did remember the Cathedral missile pack. That's another
Oh,
big.
that's a big one. Yeah, we talked about how we're going to talk about some of these missiles. There's a few in this area that we'll see, but yeah, the reason we wait till week 3 is the skill levels of the runners will be much more similar. So the 2-0 bracket, we might see some RBO, whereas maybe in the 0-2 bracket, we'll have 2 runners that aren't comfortable with RBO and just they'll both not want to run it.
Yeah, it's really cool because nobody's going to get forced into one of those tougher categories at this stage in the tournament, but we get to be excited that it might happen.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
some people might actually want to run RBO.
Okay, and there's that next missile. There's that next missile, and
yeah, that's a big one.
This speed missile is another one that's very easily skipped. So
I think that's my first 99% run. That was the culprit.
I could believe it. That's okay. I don't have 100% run on the books, but in the double anti-bingo tournament last summer, the match that I won involved me skipping having to do 60 Brinstar missiles and me skipping the missile under the bridge. So so I ended there instead.
Oh boy.
And very nice Bubble Mountain strats from kashmod. I always like Bubble Mountain to see what the different runners do because there's so many different ways to get up.
All right, so ShinyZeni's picking up his Wave Beam. At this point, we'll see whether he goes and picks up Ice Beam or whether he goes to Crocomire and gets Grapple Beam.
Yeah, again, I think optimally the early Ice Beam may be a little bit faster, but that assumes that you're going to be able to
Nice
get the Ice Clip through Shack Tool very quickly.
Chat tells us late Croc is 20 seconds faster if you get first try Ice Clip. Does that also include a Shine Spark into X-Ray? Because that's a big time save in that route as well.
Well, you're not going to get X-Ray until, yeah, I suppose, but, Screw Attack plus Space Jump makes pretty quick work of that room, too.
Yeah, that's true. But
there's a reason we don't get X-Ray till the very end of the run.
So that you don't equip it by mistake and interrupt your dash?
That would be interesting. Okay, Zeni
has skipped Croc.
He's gonna go get his Ice Beam. So I like that we're gonna get. I expect kashmod's gonna do Croc first. So it looks like we're gonna get some route divergence, which is always really interesting.
Yeah, so we won't actually converge the runs until they've defeated Ridley and come back up and exited Norfair.
Yep.
Which is about 45 minutes from now.
Yeah, something like that. Oh, beautiful D-boost into the Ice Beam room from Zeni.
Nice.
But the fun part about the Ice Beam early is that you get to one-shot Crocomire.
Yeah, does he get the Crumble missiles now, or does he get them after? No, you have to go to Croc Escape after Croc, so I guess he doesn't have power bombs. When do you get the Crumble missiles?
I think. Oh gosh. I want to say that you go the south route down to Lower Norfair, and so you get them then.
That makes sense. Okay.
And then or maybe that's a really good question. I'm getting my all bosses and my hundo mixed up. It maybe you just do that whole bit after.
But I think you're right. It's kind of like the any percent route where you pick up Ice Beam and then go down the speedway toward Lower Norfair. I think that's correct.
Mr. J Giggles telling me I was correct the first time. We do Croc before Lower Norfair, and that makes a lot of sense. And we get looks like an Alpha Spark from Zeni.
No, you still do Croc after Lower Norfair because you want to come back because you want to get that spike suit from Crocomire, and you don't want to hold that for all of Lower Norfair. No, that's the actual strategy. You get Crocomire. That's why the routes don't converge until the upper Norfair elevator as they're heading back into Brinstar and Meridia. Because
I guess
Croc doesn't come till after Ridley.
Let's put
Well,
it a different way.
Zeni's the runner. Whatever he does,
No,
that's
that
the
was gonna
route.
say. I would call that another potential route diversion. So we'll see what Zenny chooses to do, because I can see the merits of both choices.
You have to come back and get Croc escape missiles, so you still have to do Crocomire after Lower
Okay.
North. You still have to come back through that way.
Okay, Zenny says Giggles is saying the routes converge before Lower Norfolk, but is that what you're gonna do?
Right, you get okay, so the crumble missiles under ice, you get that before Lower Norfair, but the Croc escape missiles by the Green Gate, you get that after Lower
Sure.
Norfair.
Okay, that makes sense.
Okay. Which means I guess you could fight Croc either time because you have to pass by that door in both directions.
Yeah, I'm not sure it would make a difference. Either way, you're gonna have plasma beam. So.
Right. And if you have Charge Beam and Plasma Beam, you destroy Crocomire in one shot anyway, which, by the way, that was the old flashing lights warning, right? So, when ShinyZeni gets to Crocomire, we'll have a shining lights warning for you folks. So kashmod's grabbing his first power bomb pack here.
Yeah, it's actually one of the nice things about this route is you do get these power bombs early. So if you're not, I mean, you kind of have a choice here. So the nice thing about Ice Beam is it makes your red tower a little bit easier going up if you want to use Ice Beam strats, the intended strats. Whereas kashmod will have the power bomb pack and could make, if he has trouble doing the hero shot, he could just go power bomb all the rippers and make his red tower climb a little bit easier.
All right, did we get an Ocean Fly from Zenny? I think his shot's a little far ahead, but I usually use super missiles, which fly faster, so...
Oh, looks like he got close to it.
It was actually a little too late. But yeah, there is a missile pack under the water here, but a little faster to grab that later with Gravity Suit. And ShinyZeni, 117 energy going in the Fantoon here. And let's hope that he keeps most of that, because the most dangerous room in the entire run is coming up right after that boss fight.
Absolutely, and hopefully he remembers. Yeah, he's remembering to pick up these missiles here, because this is the next most dangerous room in the run. If you forget to pick up the missiles before you kill Fantoon.
Try doing it with a blue suit.
That's your specialty.
Not this room.
Okay, blue suits are your specialty.
All right, kashmod goes into the cosine room.
Yep. So he's picked up. Yep, he's cleaned up all the Croc area. These missiles that he picked up here, the ones at the so-called Indiana Jones and the early power bombs, those are fairly easy to miss. Not as often as some of the other ones that we pointed out, though.
Let's see what kind of patterns we get for ShinyZeni. Looks like he's going to go with the missiles so that he doesn't have to unequip his beams. Some runners will actually do X Factor strats against Fantoon, even in 100%, but...
Nice first round Doppler.
Yeah, I wasn't counting, but hopefully Zenny was.
Yeah, it looked like 8 or 9. Oh gosh, wow.
Okay, he was counting.
Yeah, if you could do a 2-round Doppler, you don't need to use X factors.
Right.
Very well done by Zenny.
So the idea is you want to shoot a volley of 2, then doppel as many missiles as you can before he closes his eyes. So I think optimally it's 228 or 228, 227 and a super.
Yeah, I think that would work.
Yeah, 228 would be 10, 227 would be 19, and then a super missile is 600.
600.
Okay. Or wait, 226.
No, 226, 225 super. That makes more sense.
Yeah, I don't know. What about me thinks anybody think I math? No, I don't know. Yeah.
All right. In the meantime, kashmod's going to head over towards Red Tower to work his way up towards his Fantoon fight. Zenny is about to go into that dangerous room. We call it Spiky Room of Death for a reason. If you're going to lose your hundo run to a death, this is where you're going to do it. Oh, and very nice.
Nice. Very nice.
That was beautiful. That's one of my favorite strats that I absolutely 100% cannot do.
I need to work on that one. I do the method where you shoot up from underneath, which I think Holy cow, that's
That deboost, that was a little scary.
like, well, they only do 60 damage, right? And if you can't go through a platform, it's only another 100,
He's
right?
fine. He's about to pick up an E-tank here. But you're going to see
Yeah.
one of the other difference we talked about. He doesn't have the grapple beam here, so he's going to have to do a much more trickier jump here. Or do a bomb jump. It's still much more tricky than
That's a
having the
single
grapple
bomb
beam.
setup.
Very nice. He does it that way. You can jump across there if you don't have your high jump boots on. I think you do with high jump boots on as well, but it's a little more difficult. But this way, he can just do the bomb setup and not even worry about what the high jump boots are on or not, and saves the menu if he was going to turn them off.
Yep, and he still has all of his beams on to do the infamous ship landing site wraparound shot. Didn't have to turn off any of those for Fantoon or anything like that.
Yeah, you can do it with just wave, or you can do it with wave and spacer, but the position is going to change based on which beam combination you have on at the time. Okay, Kashmod has cleared out Red Tower.
Wow, that was
Yeah, it was
such a
beautiful.
clean attic. I want him to come over and clean my attic. Except I live in an apartment, so I don't have an attic. But I wish I had an attic just so Zenny could come over and clean it.
Yeah, you'll notice he went ahead and opened the door to the left so that because it was a flashing door. If you don't open it before you go into this room, which I like to call the most annoying room of the game, he
Get out of my
would have
way,
to
worker
kill.
robots.
Yeah, he'd have to go ahead and kill all the enemies in this room that he's going through right now.
It
Again,
almost makes me wish I was playing Metroid Zero Mission, where you just shoot one super missile and they just walk all the way back. So speaking of that grapple beam here, kashmod is going to grapple across the moat. That's going to save him a little bit of energy going into Fantoon. So already with an energy tank advantage for safety in this Fantoon fight. Also wants to conserve a little bit more by saving one of the two Shine Sparks for entering Rex ship. And looks like he's turned Spazer off. We're going to see some X Factor strats from kashmod.
Okay, Zenny picking up the two missiles in this area. That the sky missiles made a lot easier with that speed booster. I like the way he got it. Instead of just doing a shine spark, he conserves a little bit of energy by jumping at the right spot and just jumping and doing a really large jump to that area.
Yeah, let's see. The next energy tank is in Gauntlet, and he will have to do 2 Shine Sparks, 3 Shine Sparks for that. So any kind of energy conservation. I don't know how far ahead he's planning with that, but oh no, never mind. He's not going to Shine Spark here, but going to take 90 damage on spikes. And laying that power bomb is going to save him a little bit of time breaking open the wall underneath.
Meanwhile, kashmod into his Fantoon fight.
Yeah, and I was mentioning in a race earlier today that a lot of times Shine Sparking seems like the fastest strat because you fly right across the room. However, the crash animation costs a lot more time than you might think, so even just boosting across the spikes like that is probably faster, just so you avoid the crash animation. And looks like that power bomb... Oh, okay, you power bombed the statue away. Either that or they just left the missile pack floating in midair. Silly space pirates. And saving even more energy by wall jumping before executing that reserve tank spark.
Yeah, and the energy, this is another spot where energy is important for, like you said, the shine sparking. If you don't have enough energy, you're going to need to stop at the ship to get that energy back, because he's going to do a really long shine spark coming up in just a little bit. It's actually my favorite shine spark, so looking forward to see that part of the game. You don't get to see it in too many categories.
I do want to point out we had a wonderful X Factor Fantoon fight from kashmod as well. I don't want to let that one slip by.
Oh no, absolutely, that was beautiful. And we don't know just how far kashmod is behind, or even if he is behind, because let's keep in mind he did already kill Crocomire and clean up that area. Zenny has not, so we're not going to see these routes converge for a little bit, and then we'll get a better idea of what the lead is. Zenny picking up the ocean missiles, another one that's easily forgotten. You want to get that after you have gravity suit, just because it's that much faster since you can actually move through water.
Yeah, and both of these runners, it's a little optimization here. You saw they used a missile. If you were watching kashmod, he just used a missile to open that door. And why would you waste ammo? Well, that's because Wave beam will actually shoot the floor out if you're crouching. And so you don't want to waste the time to stand up before you shoot, and you don't want to shoot the floor out that you're trying to run on. So
Okay, Zeni gooping the spark up to the criteria power bombs.
well, he's gonna have to tap into some reserves, I think, in order to make
Yeah,
that shine spark into gauntlet. Oh, nice bounce ball from Kashmod in the spiky death room as well. He's sitting comfortable with that gravity suit and about to get a refill here.
yeah, and he'll have an easier time getting across because he's got that
I
grapple
said
beam.
gravity suit or grapple beam? I
You
might have
said
said
gravity
gravity.
suit, but you meant
I
grapple.
definitely meant grapple. All right, here's that wraparound shot from Zeni. You heard the door open, so he's going to be able to shine spark all the way through the next room from here. Does need a little bit of more energy, and taking this menu as an opportunity to turn off Varia Suit. Now, you might have played Randomizer and think, but doesn't Varia Suit protect you from heat damage? But, well, in the vanilla
Well,
game,
it
Gravity
does.
Suit also does. That was just, that was 1 pixel off. It was almost a perfect shine spark.
It is
One
interesting
more
to see.
energy.
He's already taken that Varia suit off in preparation for his Mother Brain 2 stand-up fight. So
Right. So in the vanilla game, Varia Suit does absolutely nothing other than reduce damage from Rainbow Beam. And as it turns out, one of our tricks, we actually want to take that extra damage from Rainbow Beam. So that's why we turn off Varia Suit. And it's really once you get Gravity Suit.
no, Zeni!
Oh no!
Oh, no!
This is a severe time loss
Okay,
for Zeni.
this is one of those spots. I don't think he played it safe. We'll see what Kashmod does. But he's gonna have to go all the way up around here to pick up that missile. Probably gonna do it at the end of the run. Oh no, he's gonna go
He's
get it
gonna
right
go
now.
back
He's
now.
gonna
Yeah,
go
the
get it now.
danger of optimally for time doing it at the end is faster, but
then you have to
optimally
remember
I
it.
can't forget this or else I forfeit.
Yeah,
Getting it now is the call. Hopefully he remembers which missile pack he missed so he can fall down the right side.
Well, and he almost saved it too. So now we're really going to be wondering what the lead is for quite a while because this is definitely a time loss. He is taking a save here.
Yeah, so if he gets to Torian and he's at 99%, he only has to go back to the 30-minute mark.
But hey, we get to see some really cool shine sparking again.
He's not going to do the wraparound shot.
No, he's just going to do this part. I think he'll just power bomb through this probably.
I think this is the RBO strat for getting through this room, right?
I don't know. Well, Zeni doesn't get the Z tank. Are you kidding?
He only gets like 3 E-tanks as far as I know.
That's a bit of an exaggeration, but not that much.
I need like 12 energy tanks to get through Lower Norfair. I'm pretty sure Zeni is at about half of that many.
Okay, meanwhile, Kashmod picking up his...
this is nice. Oh, wow. He was going for a really cool shine spark to get through the second half of Gauntlet, but that's okay.
So Kashmod picking up his stuff in this little spot of criteria, so he doesn't. So those are ones you don't want to forget. So, but there is a safer. So you notice how he just beamed the blocks out. His plan before was to land right in the middle so he can go through both crumble blocks. We're going to probably see Kashmod do a slightly safer strat, which is leave the block above the crumble blocks intact so you know where to stand, and then you just shoot it from beneath you.
And I don't know if ShinyZeni is listening, but he is in our SpeedGaming chat, and he does say, can't risk forgetting. So he does grab that gauntlet missile tank.
Yeah, no, I think that's, I think that's a very fair sentiment there.
All right, so we're going to get that pink Brintstar, green Brintstar cleanup here. Nice Moonfall. I'm surprised he didn't do a task dance, though. I'm a little disappointed, to be honest. Not really.
Zeni telling us he does have the audio on.
Hi, Zeni.
Okay, the question has come up in chat about the PBs. So I'll go through both of them so it doesn't feel like I'm ignoring Zeni. Zeni's PB for Hundo is 115 flat, as reported on our spreadsheet. And Kashmod...
Glad you didn't say 115 even, because 115 is odd.
Kashmod is at 124.55, so... All right, Kashmod picking up that reserve tank. That reserve tank is the reason why there isn't a Fantoon first version of.
I'm sorry. This is
Oh,
the room. This is the room why
okay.
we say you hear 101 item fanfares. I forgot. I forgot about that joke.
Yep, and Zenny informing us that he has since updated his PB to 11443. Zenny and well, shout out to Pistachio Cat for actually putting the number down, since Zenny's busy trying to actually run the game to type everything in chat.
Kashmod does remember his bottom ocean missiles. Very nice.
Good job.
That's a really precise power bomb placement from Zenny. Looks like he got it. He's trying to open an orange door on the right side of the room, as well as blow out this wall on the left side of the room. And Kashmod's gonna go see if he does a ship refill. He's looking pretty good on energy. I don't think he needs it.
Yeah, he should be fine. See if Zenny can get the Mission Impossible. I don't think. Yeah, he gets it.
Nice. I've yet to figure that one out.
I was doubting a little bit because he looked like he was a little bit low, but he got it. That one's done more for swag than anything else, but it's certainly fun to watch.
No, he's not going to use the super missile to open the gate.
Nah, it is a little. It is. I've seen it timed. It is a little bit faster if you can do that little mock ball into the, or that little morph into the under the gate. It is faster to do it that way.
I don't care what's faster. I want to see what looks cooler. We do not have Kashmod's audio on, but I assume he does, and well, they'll know if they get the wraparound shot. Looks like they did.
Yep, looks like, and we'd see my favorite Shine Spark again.
So, did you know there's a Super Metroid puzzle called the Everlasting Shine Spark or something like that? And the point of the puzzle is to do a Shine Spark that consumes 1200 energy or something like that.
Oh, jeez. Sounds like something you might make up.
I wish I had. It's a pretty clever puzzle. I'll let you guys think about that.
And Zenny having just picked up his Spore Spawn missiles, 100% still does not mean we pick up Spore Spawn. Actually go to Spore Spawn because, yeah, we can do it from the back. And there you see Kashmod doing the strat that most of us do. It's a little bit safer. And he's going to give both missiles in one go.
Automatically save some time over Zenny there. While I mentioned puzzles, you can find those on the Super Metroid speedrunning wiki. If you go to wiki.supermetroid.run, if you're not sure, where to get resources on how to speedrun the game, you can go to wiki.supermetroid.run. All kinds of information on room names, item positions, different strats, lots of great stuff. And there's even a link to the Super Metroid speedrunning Discord, and plenty of users in there that love seeing new runners and will help you guys out if you just want to get into doing some Super Metroid runs.
Yeah. The Super Metroid community is just such a wonderful community. Everybody is just so friendly, will help you out. And those puzzles, I think, aren't we in the 70s or something in those puzzles?
I just brought it up. 74. Puzzle 74 was the most recent one, and that's only the numbered puzzles. There were some special event. It was the Eternal Shine Spark, submitted by Stravaris.
Oh.
Oh, and the puzzle was to do a Shine Spark that consumes 2,500 energy. That's the goal. So good luck getting 2,500 energy. There is a way.
Yeah, well, I think it's a little bit of GT classic shenanigans, but not so classic. Anyway, Zenny did remember to go ahead and grab those green pipe missiles. The blue burn area, we'll save that for last. We won't see him get those for a while. And now we're gonna head over to Meridia. And Meridia, probably the most annoying part of the route in terms of routing.
Yeah, as far as pure geography, I think Meridia presents the greatest challenge in routing 100% items.
Zenny with a really nice short charge. That is not an easy short charge. There's actually 3 ways you can do that item. You can do from where he just ran right now, you can do a short charge from there, or the intended strat is to run from the previous room and do that Shine Spark. I think the intended strat is probably the hardest one, although I can't stutter, so I can't do the one that he did.
And then also, if you start on the higher up ledge, you can charge your Shine Spark up
Yep.
there, which is
That's the one I like to use. It's
Yeah.
a 2-tap or something. It's not too
the
hard.
the problem with the quote intended strat is that you have to open a green gate, so you have to use a super missile every time you attempt the Shine Spark,
Yep.
and take 2 door transitions. And door transitions are one of the more costly aspects of any run of Super Metroid.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you could save a lot of time if you understand how to deal with those door transitions.
Yeah, we actually just saw ShinyZeni there line up. He made sure to go as far left as possible so that the door was centered. Anytime you force the game to center the door before the transition, you're spending time for the camera to pan over before you can go into the next room. So the more advanced runners will always try to get the door as close to the middle of the screen as possible before going through the door. And that's just one of the things I love about Super Metroid and how much detail has gone into optimization at this point.
All right, so the next spot we're going to go to, this is another area we don't see very often, the beach and the watering hole area.
Yeah, and ShinyZeni also want to point out that Super Missile Pack near the little crab hole there, that's another oft-forgotten item, I think.
Yeah, I was a little worried when he didn't get it up there at first, but I like the way it's routed in where he gets the Mama Turtle stuff first and then goes up there.
Well, yeah, because you want to do the diagonal spark up and to the left toward that door coming out of Mama Turtle.
Just more of Meridia just being a pain to route. Okay,
And the
Cashbot, you
biggest
see.
reason for that is the sand pits, which we haven't even gotten to yet.
Yeah, the sand pit's the worst part. The worst physics of the game, for sure. Cashbot's going to go get his waterway E-Tank, having just picked up those missiles that we skipped at the beginning.
All right, and we did actually saw kashmod jump through that door. That's what we were just talking about with lining up door transitions. You might think it's faster just to run through the door because you would need to land on the ground, but actually it's faster to fall from higher up than it is to let the game pan the camera, so.
Okay, now there are 2 items in this aqueduct area. There's several opportunities that the runners have to get them. And most likely, with Zeni in particular, he'll probably do we'll talk about the strat when we get there, but a nice little fun strat to get those a little more optimally than picking them up right now.
If you pick them up after Spring Ball. We're also going to see the same thing with the energy tank in the post-Botwoon room. Probably just going to run past it here. Got plenty of energy to take on Dragon.
Yeah, this is a spot you can pick it up, but it's not really. And we have, like you said, lots of energy already. It's not going to make.
You want to watch Zeni right now because this is one of the coolest tricks in the game, and if he does this right, it looks pretty good so far.
Got it.
Beautiful. That's called the full halfie, where you charge a Shine Spark in the sand pit room, not the sand, the sandy dandy room. And you charge your Shine Spark there, you crouch in the vertical room, do really fast wall jumps, followed by shooting a door open and getting a ledge grab so that you have just enough time to run into the next room and Shine Spark across the entire room.
And yes, ShinyZeni remembered to save the game. Kind of an interesting spot that he chose to do that. This is it's a pretty safe fight, but I've seen if you mess this up, the chain damage can be very unforgiving. And
if you use a Shine Spark to defeat Dragon and you end up right dead center of her hitbox, you're taking 30 damage, not per frame, but you have to get hit multiple times.
Yeah. I've seen runners with more energy than Zeni has right now. Maybe not counting the reserves. I don't know what he's got in his reserves, but
actually,
more than
the reserves might protect him. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't know about that, but yeah, I've seen runners die with this much energy to chain damage. So let's not have that happen.
The most I've had is about 500 something.
Oh my god, that was such a nice fight.
For some missiles, yeah. Well, it didn't quite get the Shine Spark for the end, but hopefully he can get a spike suit off of these electrical sockets, and he does.
Of course he does.
And wow, the swag damage boost to pick up the drops right after getting that spike suit as well.
And Zenny picking up my favorite item, the space jump.
All right, let's see if kashmod goes and grabs these crab supers as well. Already tending to the left, I think.
Yeah, he's got him.
He's got him.
Yeah, and actually, I'm gonna shout out those crab supers for a second. The one of the cool things that this game does, it really does try and show you things. And so the way you know how to get there is you see that crab just kind of go through that hole and disappear. So that kind of gives you a clue that, hey, there's supers that you saw on your way up. Yeah, there is a way to get them, and this is how.
Yeah, there's actually 2 clues there. The wall is actually a different sprite in the
Yep.
spot where the hole is. It looks a little different, so if you're really paying attention, you can see that. I believe the same goes for the Mama Turtle room. And
Yeah.
also, if you ride the Mama Turtle, she actually, if you ride her upward on the right side of the room, she actually takes you up to the perfect height where you can shoot that wall open and get the missile pack. And I wonder, oh,
Ooh, nice speed.
Zenny.
Okay, so he's gonna go down this right sand pit. He's gonna go get spring ball, and then we'll see one of the most swag strats since he's gonna go ahead and get those missiles and supers with spring ball when
And
he
it
comes
should be
back down
noted.
again.
It should be noted that the speed blocks that Zenny broke, the top ones respawn. So if you don't keep your blue to break the underneath speed booster blocks, that is actually a possibility for a soft lock. Maybe
Yeah.
that's why ShinyZeni actually saved.
Maybe, but to be fair, even if you just go up, try and do a regular shine spark without enough energy, and the shine spark stops before you break those, you can get pretty screwed over on that section.
I think
And
the bottom shine spark. I'm sorry, the bottom speed blocks actually do not respawn. Only the top layer blocks respawn.
yeah, but
So
you still can get caught there. Okay, Zenny doing a very nice ice clip, and if you can do the ice clip that quickly, yeah, by all means do early ice because that was really beautiful.
yeah, and that was really the crux of this route that ShinyZeni's showing off. Showing no small mastery over the ins and outs of the 100%.
Yeah, it almost looks like he's practicing his moon dance a little bit here.
He's working on that test dance, man. We'll see if he allows Shaq Tool to live. Hopefully Shaq Tool will have a good item for us today. Oh, and shooting the crab to wake him up and break through the wall, just slightly ahead of Shaq Tool.
Saves a little bit of time, yep.
He is behind his splits, though. If you see his timer turn red.
Well, he did mess up the gauntlet missile, so no surprise. I mean, if he were ahead of his splits, having made that mistake, I'd be really, really impressed. kashmod gonna also go for the full halfie. He looks like he's just gonna get the halfie here, but still very nice.
Yeah, so Spring Ball is actually one of the best items to save time in individual rooms. Unfortunately, it's not really possible to route it into an any percent run, just because it takes so long for Shaq Tool to break through the wall.
It's so far out of the way. It's far out of the way, and yeah, it takes a lot of time.
It saves time in almost every single room that you have to morph in, at least.
Yeah, and kashmod picking
Maybe
up
not this room.
so-called precious missile. That's another one that is very easily forgotten.
Yeah, shout outs to Eternized Dragon for naming that room.
Yeah, apparently there was a bit of a typo involved. And now ShinyZeni getting his plasma beam, so he now has his full beam combo.
He's Quispy.
Funny thing about these pirates in this room and also in the room near Mama Turtle, charge beam does not hurt them. You have to actually use just the plasma beam by itself.
Oh, really? If you do a charged plasma shot, it doesn't hurt them?
It does not.
But you can use charge beam to kill them.
No,
if
you
pseudo
can't.
screw.
Oh, pseudo screw. Yeah, that's good.
You have to pseudo screw them twice.
You got me, Cross.
You can use screw attack and you can use speed booster to kill them as well.
Okay, kashmod finishing up.
Nice,
kashmod finishing up. Dragon gets a blue suit, picks up that space jump.
There we go. Slightly slower than doing the spark suit that Zeni did, since you cannot dash and keep your blue suit. So he's going to have to walk from here to the point where he wants to use his stored shine spark, but still faster than jumping across. So really nicely done by kashmod.
Okay, and we go through this room one more time for Zeni. And now we're going to see him pick up those aqueduct items. Probably going to use a blue bomber strat, one of the more fun and swag strats of this game. There it is. Very nice.
All right, kashmod picked up their Batoon tank. And ShinyZeni is going to go ahead and get this other sand pit. And
does a nice job
on
of
his way to Lower Norfair.
Does a nice job avoiding the right sand pit, going into the left one now instead.
Oh, this is interesting, because does turning around actually save time in that room? I know that if you morph, it pushes you down an extra pixel, so a lot of runners will morph and unmorph, but ShinyZeni doing a little... Uh-oh. Well, that's not quite as drastic as the gauntlet missile.
No, not at all. And he messed that up with Spring Ball, which is kind of... yeah. The Spring Ball making it... If you just hold down the jump button when you're in ball form with Spring Ball, you won't fall down the crumble blocks.
Yeah, the problem was that he had to unmorph to shoot the blocks out and didn't morph in time.
Yeah.
Whoops.
Trying to go fast and then slows down because
so
it
if you
happens.
moonfall into the sand pit, the turnaround saves time. Interesting. Zeni is kind of the moonfall master, I think.
Oh, for sure.
Oh, that's like the ShinyZeni room right there that he just ran through. He has another strat where he uses a bomb jump to get through that room without gravity.
Okay, now we see
Zeni zoom, I like to call it.
Yeah, kashmod going over to Shack Tool the intended way by breaking that grapple block with the grapple beam. And Zeni gonna go ahead and pick up this Crane missile right now. You can pick it up before you go into Lower North or after. I'm pretty certain that the actual time difference is none. So it doesn't matter other than let's get it now so we don't forget.
Yeah, the big time save in this area is going to be Speed Booster, which you would have at either pass, right?
Yeah. And kashmod waits out Shack Tool.
Oh, just misses the speed ball for ShinyZeni. And kashmod... People used to, man, the old Hondo tournament, people used to meme it up hard in the Shack Tool room. I remember somebody did a speed run of Quake while waiting for Shack Tool to break through the wall. I forget who that was. It wasn't J-Ro? I don't think. Someone in chat's going to know who it was. Probably Oster knows.
Yeah, speaking of which, he's telling us that it's probably faster beforehand. Because of the speed coming into the elevator room. That makes a certain amount of sense. Okay, and now we're going to see Zeni is going to get that crumble missile.
That. Because you would have that speed going from right to left to get back to the door as well. Although, since you have to shoot the door open, that speed gets kind of wasted. All right. I accept your explanation. It was the 2017?
Okay, so Zeni is going to kill Croc after.
Right, and this is because he wants to get a spike suit off of Crocomire and use that to shine spark into the X-ray room. I think that's the main reason we do Crocomire after Lower Norfair. And by we, I mean people that are better at this game than I am and do this route. Nice damage boost.
Yeah, the chronic boost to get into Lower Norfair, and then we're gonna just space jump the intended way. And now we're going to get to the next kind of trolly item. So those of you that may have watched Sloters versus Becky previous to this match might have seen poor Sloters didn't get the missile on the first pass. Let's hope Zeni does a little bit better. He does go back this way so that he can get a nice boost so he doesn't have to get hit by the steam.
kashmod does have to clean up Meridia here before heading to Lower Norfair, but ShinyZeni does still have to fight Crocomire and clear out a whole nook worth of items there.
And
So it's
the
a little
game,
closer than it might look.
and it is possible to get to this statue without the space jump, but the game checks to make sure you have space jump. So if you don't have it, that the acid will not get lowered.
Yeah, that's really one of the hardest things about routing 100% is that you need that space jump to get this missile pack.
All right, and he does get it without failing, without falling or failing. Hey, both words work. So.
ShinyZeni, no stranger to Gold Teresa, of course.
Yep. Yeah, I've actually kind of dubbed this week Gold Teresa week because all three categories involve fighting Gold Teresa. You're not avoiding him this week. GT Classic and all bosses being the other two categories.
Yep.
But Zenny does a nice job getting into the nice safe spot where you can just fire a bunch of charge shots at Golden Teresa. Something I wish I had known when I played this game the first few times.
Right. It's such a harder fight playing casually. Does Zenny get that super missile pack in his RBO route?
Yeah, I believe so.
Okay.
I don't think I've seen an RBO route that doesn't get it because you're right there. You're gonna get screw attack anyway.
Oh, watch this. I really hope I get RBO this week. Whoever my opponent is this week, know that I am not banning RBO. Yeah.
Very
I'm gonna
nice.
do some things.
And if you don't get it next week, I believe in week 5 we're gonna see RBO as a possibility again.
I mean, I'm just gonna put this out here. Why fight Gold Teresa when you can have 35 super missiles without fighting him? That's all I'm gonna.
Yeah, I know exactly where you're going. We actually talked about this after your race, I believe.
All right, kashmod enters the left sand pit.
Oh.
Will soon be heading in the lone. Oh no!
so
Fun
another.
fact, you don't have to kill every enemy in that room. You only have to defeat a certain number of enemies. So he did actually leave one of the Dragon Balls.
Well, to be fair, you don't have to kill any enemies in that room if you don't fall through the crumble blocks.
Well, Zenny's gonna be a little shorter on energy than you would normally have in 100%, but more energy than you would have in any percent. Wait, did he get he did get the missile pack though, right?
Yeah, he did.
Okay.
Well, the crumble blocks. What you do is you want to use screw attack or bombs to bomb out those blocks. You don't want to use power bombs because then it just bombs out all the safe non-crumble blocks on top, and it makes it that much easier to fall through. Zenny making very quick work of these keys. I mean, this Ridley fight's gonna be easy for Zenny. He's used to doing, suitless with a lot fewer super missiles and a much weaker beam combination.
I think after this race, I'm gonna rename crumble blocks to Zenny blocks.
I
know you're listening, Zenny, and I apologize.
He's missed him twice. I mean, what do you?
Well, 3. He's had 3 mishaps with
Oh,
crumble
right,
blocks.
because the one wasn't that big. Was the sandpit one?
Gosh dang it, Zenny, we love you. And we love kashmod too. And if you want to show these runners your love and you haven't followed them yet, then please go to their channels and give them a follow right now. Before Zenny gets to Ridley, you've got time.
And Zenny using the charge beam to finish off the space pirates here.
Is Zenny running Mappo right now?
Well, he'd have to have gone back to the... I'd say no. If he had gone to the missile refill at the very beginning of Brinstar, then I'd really be wondering.
Yeah, well, funny, Mappo doesn't actually pick up all the items.
No, it doesn't. Yeah, see, Zenny's like, yeah, this is easy. I can do this one. I'm not losing energy every second.
Wait a minute. You're allowed to get gravity suit before fighting Ridley?
Yeah, funny that. Not to mention screw attack and plasma. Well, he has screw attack and RBO, but plasma beam he doesn't.
All right, kashmod just grabbed ice beam. So that time that kashmod had over Zenny and not having to fight Crocomire, well, he does still have to get that ice beam. So there's that. But
He's gonna have to
it's
get
not
these.
that much of a detour because Zenny did come this way to get the crumble missiles on his way to Lower Norfair.
Yeah, that's the crumble shaft. The one set of crumble blocks that didn't get him.
I hated that item when I was a kid. For some
Oh, it's a
reason, when I
terrible
was a
item.
kid, like I wasn't going for 100%, but it still had to pick up every missile pack I saw. Like I don't know.
Oh, I
I
always
guess,
went for 100%.
I guess because when you do a casual playthrough of this run, you don't actually understand how powerful Charge Beam is.
Oh, for sure. To me, charge beam was just what you used when you ran out of ammo.
Yeah, right. Well, ShinyZeni's gonna do a little clip through the floor there. Okay. I love this speedball. This is one of my favorite speedballs in the game.
No, it's a
Since you
very
have
nice.
to use the if you get a low hop from that Tuskegee, you have to use your plasma beam to run right through his hitbox too. And we had a nice chronic boost from kashmod as well.
All right, gonna get one more E-tank down here.
Ooh, he's gonna get a damage boost off of this fly. I like this. And landing on top of the is that like part of the plan was to freeze that one fly and damage boost on top of it?
I don't know, but it
Was
looks
that like is Zenny just like that cosmic braining this? I was like he forgot to check what was at PB's in jail.
Well, he doesn't have to check it. He just doesn't get it. This is not randomizer.
Oh, the Hoda Ruby special coming up here. You get a nice blue ball, and this is one of those big time saves from Spring Ball, and blocked on the pedestal, unfortunately. If you do manage to jump up to the higher level with your blue ball, you can actually break those blocks, and you don't have to wait for the bomb explosion.
Okay, kashmod also getting his GT missiles. Actually, that's another spot that Zane did manage to manage the crumble blocks. Okay, kashmod's gonna get into this position here on GT. The nice thing, if you crouch and he jumps up, yep.
Franker Z's in chat, guys.
Yeah.
Look at the shape of the room.
But yeah, if kashmod did a nice job. If you're crouching there, you can actually get two hits on get double hit on GT. So that's kind of a nice little benefit from crouching there. Picks up his screw attack.
Yeah, one of the reasons why having an aim down button is nice, because then you can shoot straight up while crouching. Not that I would know anything about that.
Yeah, well, you have some funny controller mappings.
Hey, so does Behemoth.
Yeah, to be fair, we are talking about the any
But
percent
there's
tied
only
for a
one
world record.
Behemoth.
There's only one Behemoth. Actually, it's absolutely fascinating when you think about Behemoth versus Zost and how different some of the things they do are, and yet they have the same any percent time at 40.56. Let's see if kashmod can manage to do this without get those crumble blocks. There we go. Start. And he does. See, you don't have to kill any enemies in that room, cross product.
Wow. All right, do we get Bubble Mountain missiles? Another really slick damage boost from Zenny.
Yep, and another easy missile to skip. Yeah, that's a beautiful damage boost. Okay, now we're gonna head to Croc.
Yeah, so on those Mickey Mouse missiles, the leftmost block is actually solid. It's not a crumble block, so that actually you can actually jump up from there, and it's a little safer.
Yeah, and I'm gonna guess here that Zenny still has a bit of a lead, but we'll know for sure as he's leaving Crocomire and as kashmod is leaving Lower Norfair. Now blink and you'll miss this one.
Oh yeah, watch out! There's a lot of flashing. Yeah, what a sneak! All right, we're gonna see ShinyZeni try to get another spark suit or What the heck? What is happening? I don't think this saves time because Crocomire doesn't back up when he's off screen, does he?
No, I don't
What in
think
the
it does.
world? Is this a DQ? What's happening?
Nah, he's fine.
All right, he manages to get the Spark Suit, which is really nice. It's significantly harder if you have Spring Ball. Since Spring Ball prevents you from unmorphing with the jump button, he's just gonna chill out in midair and... Oh! Wait! Couldn't you just do a wraparound shot, open the door, hang out there, and then Shine Spark to the left from the Spark Suit and get to Power Bomb Pack?
He could do that.
Why didn't he do that?
Because he's got space
Maybe
jump.
he might not have been at the right height, but that's another good point. Avoiding a crash animation and being able to get a mock ball into this door.
A very nice mock ball, I might add, because he'll save that Spark Suit for probably, like you said, you figured he was going to save it for X-ray, so we'll see if that's the case.
Yeah, this is one of the hardest tricks in the optimal 100% strategy is to have this Spark Suit. Now, he's being very careful not to activate. He does have a stored Shine Spark right now. He does not want to activate that prematurely. He needs to carry this and pick up all the items between here and the X-ray room. So one of the ways you can prevent using this Shine Spark prematurely is to hold the angle down button. ShinyZeni tells us angle down is life. This is probably one of the reasons. Another thing is if you do a spin jump, it does not activate the Shine Spark. So you always want to do a spin jump or hold L when you jump.
Yeah.
Or you can jump with Spring Ball. That's another option.
And, you save a little bit of extra time here coming here late because you'll see he just did a nice little space jump to get those missiles. Otherwise, you either lose time because you're going to do an extra Shine Spark to get them, or you do the tricky strat of Indiana Jones with the grapple beam, which is still going to be slower than space jumping across. Oh my god. Very, very nice mock ball into the Spring Ball jump to get those missiles in the cosine room.
Oh, and Kashmod gets that... gets the Wasteland clip first try, so there's a little time saved over Zeni. Zeni took a couple attempts to clip through that statue. Now, Zeni is on his way out of Upper Norfair, and remember, when he gets to that elevator, that's going to be the convergence point of these two routes. Kashmod, still in Lower Norfair, still has a number of items to pick up between here and there. ShinyZeni has but one missile pack to grab between here and that elevator convergence point. And yeah, just gonna do those Spring Ball jumps. I'm not even gonna say anything. Ooh, it looks like Kashmod's gonna get this damage boost too. We'll see if he lands on top of the fly. Looks like he was trying. That looks like a very difficult trick, and Kashmod very nearly gets it. Oh, he forgot to check the peeps in jail.
Zeni heading up the elevator at about 106. Yeah, so we'll see where Cash is when he gets over there.
Yeah, forgoes the Hoda Ruby special and just breaks the wall with a screw attack. That's what it's called. I forgot for a second. What's that really iconic thing from the Samus games? You know, that robot that's in Smash Brothers. All right, there we go. There is that grapple, or gosh dang it, the X-ray spark from ShinyZeni. Really sweet. And Kashmod's got one more item to pick up in Norfair here, and then they'll be on their way back up to Brinstar for the final cleanup before heading to Torian. And Zeni has a significant lead here, assuming that he's picked up all of the items that he needs to grab.
Yep, I do not believe either runner has skipped anything, but you're watching two streams at once.
Where's Link Force when you need him?
Yeah, unfortunately we don't track Hundo right now. Of course, being one of the top trackers, both with SM. He did a really nice job with the bingo tournament. Does a very nice job in the Link to the Past tournaments that have been going on recently. Looks like Zeni was gonna go for the reverse. He didn't get very far with it.
Yeah. I've only seen Behemoth do it, and I've only seen him do it while I'm commentating his race. And that was an
I've
orange door that Zenny opened up earlier that we forgot to point out.
yeah, I've seen people practice the um, reverse
The
slinky,
reverse slinky, yeah.
reverse slinky, but I've never seen anyone get it in an actual run. So that would have been pretty cool if you had.
Oh, I forgot kashmod still had Bubble Mountain cleanup. But yeah. Oh, that was a really nice construction zone too. And bouncing. Man, he's just watching runners at really high caliber is such a treat and gives
Oh,
me something
absolutely.
to aspire to. And I'm not gonna lie, kashmod is far better at this game than I am as well.
Oh, you know, I mean, we've been focusing a lot on Zenny, but Cashbot has had a hell of a run. But you know, unfortunately, you're going against one of the best in our community. He is the 3 seed for a reason. And we do get both Billy Mays missiles, but wait, there is more.
Oh boy. We're coming up on my favorite item soon.
You know, Cashbot can make his way out of Norfair completely.
Okay, so Zenny definitely got all of the energy tanks. That's a good start.
Yep.
We're gonna see if that missile count goes up to 230 or 226 to 230. Well, let's see. He's got 2 more missile packs to pick up. So
Yep. Old Mother Brain and 230 missiles. Yeah. So the question about his seed. So he's a 3 seed, and my guess is if he'd actually put any time into GT Classic, he might have gotten to the 2 seed. But yeah, that's the seeding was done. For those of you that aren't aware, the way we did the seeding was we took the rank within the players that are actually in the tournament, and added them together for each of the 3 major categories: the any percent hundo and GT Classic, added together, and the lower your number is, the higher the seed you got. So if I look at the numbers, Zenny just a little bit behind Sloters in any percent and behind in GT Classic, though quite ways ahead in 100%. Don't know what their either one's exact rankings are, but that's going to be the difference. But that 3 seed in this field is really good.
all right, Zenny grabs the dental plan missiles. He needs those because his missiles are 230. Hopefully.
I can't say it right. I can't do the pun properly. I apologize for those who might want pun.
Nobody wants puns. It looks like kashmod wanted that reverse slinky as well. Jumped a little high there. It's probably the most impressive looking strat in the run, but probably still doesn't save as much time as something like full half A.
The nice thing about it is you're not going to lose time failing. You're going to see.
That's true. It's a high risk, medium reward, or no risk.
Low risk, high reward.
Yeah, there you go. I don't even know if the reward is so high.
Well, but it's nice and swag, so there you go.
All right, 1148 entry into G. 11148 entry into G4. Timer's a little cut off, but that's we get it. What? 11148. Entry into G4 for ShinyZeni here, and we'll get the exact time difference when kashmod enters the golden statues here. Does still have to do Billy Mays, Old Mother Brain, Climb Supers, and the 230 missiles. But yeah, a really solid run. I mean, it's looking like it's going to be about under a 130, I think, for kashmod even.
Yeah, he's looking pretty good for that.
Yeah, I would say that our 30 is the sub 50 of 100%.
That's fair.
So yeah, if you're running any percent, a really strong, like, above the bell curve time would be sub 50, right? So for 100%, I would say that's 130. Did he
Yeah.
just tickle
Sh-
something? I heard a tickle beam.
and shout outs to daughter Zenny for making it hard for her mom to watch. Okay, we do see a full 230 missiles on Zenny's HUD there, so pretty unlikely he skipped anything. It's a lot harder to skip the super packs or the power bomb packs because there's only 10 of each, so it's kind of easier to know like exactly that you picked all of them up.
Yep. And if you're gonna miss something in a 100% run, it's usually gonna be a missile pack. Uh-oh. Go through. Keep going. Zenny, walk through the door. You know you want to. You have time. Do it.
Yeah, missing the baby skip.
Oh well. Yeah, for
Did
those
he
who
go for
don't
the
know,
spring ball one?
I think so. For those that don't know, if the baby is attached to you and you walk into the door transition, you just get perma-slowed, and it makes the game so fun. Let's see if he... Oh, he's going to rely on his reserve tanks here, or do a Crystal Flash. Ooh, Crystal Flash method is spicy. So he does have...
He's gonna take a
He
save
probably
though.
doesn't... That's smart. So yeah, if he goes for the Crystal Flash here, then he'll still have enough energy to do the stand-up glitch. He's going to need 7 full energy tanks worth of energy in order to damage Mother Brain in the Phase 2 to Phase 3 transition, which is...
Yeah, looks like he went ahead and yeah, he's
Yeah,
gonna
did
have to do
not
that
have
Crystal
enough
Flash. He
energy in
didn't,
reserves to
yeah,
even survive the fight.
so he is gonna have to do. See, is
Do
he gonna
the
go for the
down
down
back.
back?
Yeah.
The down back.
I
Very
like
nice.
the spring ball Zeb skip to work on that. So optimally, he's going to do a Crystal Flash and restore his health while he's waiting for Mother Brain Phase 2 to spawn. And he needs to take enough damage to get below 50, but not die. Not below 50 or below.
Not dying is a really good strat in this game.
And also remembering not to use all of his super missiles. That's pretty key.
Yeah, because for a Crystal Flash, you do need to have 10 missiles, 10 supers, and 11 power bombs. You need that extra power bomb to lay the actual power bomb to set off the Crystal Flash. The Crystal Flash itself will count down those 10 missiles, supers, and power bombs.
Remember, Zenny has already turned off Varia Suit way, way, way back before he did Gauntlet Spark. So he's going to take 600 damage from the Rainbow Beam. And Kashmod, 1558, I want to say. Entering G4, that puts him behind 4 minutes, 10 seconds about.
Out.
So, yeah, depending on how this stand-up goes, it's really the only determining factor left for ShinyZeni, I would say. And even then, he does have a backup save.
Yeah, really the only thing that could get him at this point is if he skipped something. And I really don't think he did, because the rule says you have to finish with 100%. If you don't finish with 100%, you can either go back to a previous save and finish up, or forfeit the race. Unfortunately, when you take a save down here, you can't go back and get anything. Which honestly is, I actually kind of hate that. Not for a speedrun perspective or anything else, just because from the casual runner perspective, if you save down there and then you can't go back and get all the items that you missed.
Whatever, they can space time out. It's fine. Or they can they can do something with X-ray scope, I'm sure. Anyway, we did get confirmation that Zenny has 230 missiles, and
yeah,
that's
the big thing. If you have 230 missiles, you're pretty safe.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Kashmod sitting at an uncomfortable 186, so just gonna have to trust that his muscle memory took him to every item location in his tour through Zebes. All right, just perfect stand-up glitch from ShinyZeni, requiring only one hyper beam shot to finish off Mother Brain 3, and he just has to remember to save the animals, or not. It
He's not
depends
saving
on
the
you.
animals.
Whatever you want. It's not like he's on PB pace. Let's go. His timer's red. He can save him. And oh man, that side hopper's giving Kashmod a
Oh, but
little bit of trouble. Does manage
Kashmod
to
got
get
the
it.
got the baby skip. Nicely done, Kashmod.
I usually just shoot that guy.
Going for and getting the blue bomber is ShinyZeni. The second blue bomber of the. This one doesn't. I don't know how much time it saves. It's, the other one is definitely a time save. The one we saw in Meridia.
Yeah, and Kashmod has turned off screw attack. That's gonna help him with his Zebetite skip here. Doesn't have to do the down back.
Yep, does the more standard Zeb skip.
Oh, well.
I wasn't gonna mention the Zeni spark, but
What's a Zeni spark?
I'm
like a
pretty certain.
behemoth spark?
I'm pretty certain that's what we saw. The first version, the one he failed.
So it's not like a behemoth spark.
Well, it's supposed to. It's the failed behemoth spark, I guess you could say.
But he just has to remember to get to the ship. He's got 2 minutes left. Can he make it, folks? Oh no!
Here it is. Nope, he's not.
He wants to get the
Come on.
echoes. He needs to do the echoes where you get the three
The
pictures
double-
of
yeah,
Samus
yeah,
entering the ship. Yeah,
He's got time.
it's got 1:15. So what's the bigger danger here? The timer running out or Kashmod finishing?
Okay, there it is. ShinyZeni finishing up with an official SRL time of 1:19:54. GG's to ShinyZeni.
GG.
Okay, that's louder. Okay. Okay, so we switch over to Kashmod as he finishes up his Mother Brain. Let's take a look. He's at 120. Let me remind remind everybody what his PB is, because this is looking really good right now.
Was slightly faster than 1:15 even.
Well, his PB is a 1:24:55, so he might have a shot at this. Oh, did you switch the audio back? There we go. Okay, looks like Zeni is going to join us for a couple minutes in the voice chat.
Excellent.
Okay, finishes up Mother Brain 3 without any issues. And now just he needs to go this game. This is he's gonna PB this.
Yeah, like we said, Kashmod just had a really solid run.
Very
throughout
nice.
this race. It was just unfortunate the opponent that he drew, really.
Yeah.
Hello.
Who's that?
Hey, Zeni. Yeah, let's watch Kashmod finish this out. We think he's gonna get a PB here, so very nice.
Yeah, he's looking probably more than a minute. Right?
Again, let's see again. 1:24:55. So yeah, this is looking really good for him. Getting a PB in a race is just so impressive.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, nice behemoth spark from Kashmod there. We'll see if he remembers how to get to the ship and press down.
Yeah, we're a little
Shots
worried you
fired.
might have
It's
forgotten that.
Probably, to be honest, probably the hardest part of this category is actually walking up to the ship in class frame. Whoa!
And there it is.
Impressive.
kashmod finishing up with a official SRL time of 1:23:10. So
GG.
a huge PB for kashmod. Very, very nicely done.
Yeah, GG. Definitely.
GG to you, Zenny. So, we want to get both runners in here at the same time, or
Let's
we'll get started?
see. Yeah, he said kashmod says he's coming. So
All right, cool. I was just curious, while we have Zenny here, maybe your thought process on the pick ban phase for this round. So we had GT Classic, 100% item, which we've done, and all bosses. And you banned all bosses. So what was your thinking behind that ban?
Mainly it was just that I haven't ever run all bosses, and I'm super rusty in any percent, and I don't like any percent as much as GT Classic or Hundo.
Okay.
So that was my thought. And then kashmod actually asked me a few days ago, quote, what I wanted to run. And I was like, well,
I think my answer would have been, what do you
RBO.
want to run?
yeah. So I told him, I was like, I'm fully expecting you to veto Hundo. And he's like, actually, I wanted to run Hundo against you. I'm like, okay. So, I don't know. It seems like it was a pretty good call on his part based on how I was playing, to be honest.
Yeah. Can we talk about crumble blocks for a second?
Yeah. Those good old Super Metroid version of Kaizo blocks.
That feeling when Zenny misses 3 crumble blocks and still beats your PB 15 minutes. Wow, that was a really solid movement in general, though, in that run, Zenny. Congratulations. And
Yeah,
we are
thanks.
also joined by kashmod here, who just, remember, he just
there he
PB'd
is.
by a minute.
Ah,
Well, he's here for a second. I'm not sure what's going on.
I had a little bit of an echo there. I think he's working out some audio issues.
That could be it. Yeah.
yeah. I was actually not ahead, but essentially on PB pace coming out of wrecked ship, and then made some pretty serious errors immediately, and then I got to Gauntlet and made that mistake, and I was like, well, this run's dead. So
And we do have the 100% confirmation on Zenny's screen as well.
Yep.
Very important part of the 100%
absolutely.
item collection run is that ending screen.
You actually
right?
do get 100% of the items. It does matter.
yes.
Right. It's not included in the time of your run, but for verification purposes, must be included with the VOD to validate your run. I think.
Yep. And yeah, like I said, when I went back for the Gauntlet missiles, it was nothing more than just kind of protection against muscle memory.
Yeah, I think that was a good call on your part. It's hard to tell where you were in terms of leads and stuff because you did the early ice and kashmod did the early croc, the early grapple. So it had to have been in the back of your mind that wait a minute, what if this cost me too much time? But
Right.
yeah. On the other hand, not getting 100% costs you more. So.
You know what? I think I just developed a new strategy for 100% item completion, and the strategy is get a Post-it notepad and a pen ready, and
Okay.
if you miss an item and you think of it, write it down on the Post-it note and stick it to your TV.
There you go.
Just dead center.
Yeah, but to be fair, sometimes you don't notice when you miss the items, And
for the cases that you do.
Oh,
and we do have kashmod joining us now.
all right. I'm in.
Congratulations, that was a huge piece for you.
Yes, thank you. I've been grinding a bit, and my PB was from a long time ago, so yeah, I was expecting a big PB, and it's nice to get in a race.
Yeah, absolutely. It's so much more difficult to get those in a race. So really, really awesome that we got to commentate that for you.
Yeah, thanks for.
Yeah, awesome job, GG, man.
Yeah, you too, except for like the 3 major mistakes you made.
I guess you were both
You
watching.
had it. You were
GG,
watching too.
except
Okay.
for your terrible run.
Oh no!
It's okay. Still got me by about 4 minutes, so you're good.
Well, at least you did. You managed to get the blocks at the missiles at GT.
Yeah.
We
Yeah,
saw
I was a little
Slaughter's
nervous
best setup. We saw Slaughter's best setup in one of the
Wow,
races.
that's like the 4th time you called him out.
I know. Well, he's not here to defend himself. He's actually was commentating the other races.
Well,
You
speaking
can call
of,
Slaughter's out all you want. He always beats me in races, so got a little bit of a vendetta against him.
Uh-oh. Well, if things hold to seeds, you might be facing him in quite late this tournament.
Yeah, and he's the higher seed, which means I'm definitely gonna lose that match. So,
Yes.
well, yeah, I appreciate you guys doing the commentary. Sorry, I know you didn't want to do Hundo, Tracy.
That's okay.
But
Honestly, I wanted to do GT Classic because you had avoided getting any kind of PB in GT Classic for a long time, so I wanted to see that run.
yeah, I wasn't really avoiding it. I just hadn't done it. I actually, so not because I didn't trust Kashmod and what he said a few days ago, but I've actually been practicing GT Classic all week, just in case he got scared. And
what happens in this situation where the runners agree ahead of time? Is the actual official decision in the SRL chat?
The official
somebody?
Yeah, you can. I mean,
Wow!
There's no rules against it. I would be highly. I will be. Let me make it clear. I would be very disappointed in a runner that did that. But there's no rule saying that you have to hold to what you agree ahead of time. So take that for what it's worth.
yeah, and I also figured I'm probably going to end up running it at some point in this tournament, so trying to get ready for that.
Okay, and next week we have. I believe you said you would probably try not to run RBO next week, but that is a possibility for week 3.
I mean, I wouldn't mind running RBO against someone, but if it was someone like Zost, and he didn't veto RBO, I probably would.
Mm-hmm.
Just because I want to make sure that people get a good race, and I think a race against someone like Zost or Sloters could be really, really good. So, RBO, it's so, there's so much potential for a run to just go completely wrong and be completely one-sided. And if I have a run that doesn't have any mistakes, then it's still completely one-sided. And neither of those would be a very good race, so.
Sure. Yeah, RBO being, I mean, it's a fun category, but no one knows it better than you do, I think, at this point.
You gotta teach me that ceiling E-tank sassy. Do you have a Crocomire video on that?
I have a tutorial on it on my YouTube. I think it's on Crocomire.
Yeah, for those of you who don't know, crocomire.re, that's just the best website to search for individual room strats and individual tricks for Super Metroid.
Yeah, and in fact, next week we have RBO, any percent, and triple bingo, which is an interesting combination because there are definitely people who don't like any percent. We might be seeing some bingo next week for those that aren't raised to RBO. So.
Yeah, I'll be happy to do RBO or bingo. Just whoever my opponent is, know ahead of time. I'm banning any percent. I want to do something fun next week.
All right. Well, I gotta go. Thanks for the opportunity. Thanks for the commentary.
Sure.
And
thanks very much for putting on a great run, both of you guys. Make sure you give these guys a follow.
Absolutely.
Thanks for the good commentary. It was awesome. And thanks for the race, Zenny.
Yeah, thanks for taking some time out of your day to chat with us, too.
Yep, and good luck to both of you in your next rounds. Moving on.
Thank you.
Okay, so right now we are going to be setting up for another Super Metroid multi-category race right here on this channel. That starts at 10 p.m. Eastern Time. For the next 10 minutes while you're waiting for that to start, we do have a race going on SpeedGaming 5 right now. And there's also some other SpeedGaming stuff happening today. There's a Final Fantasy Randomizer? Is that what? Final Fantasy Randomizer Spring Tournament and Link to the Past. Yeah, all kinds of good stuff. Check out the schedule. And I'll let Tracy go over the fallout of what this race means as far as the Super Metroid tournament goes.
It means that Zenny is 2-0 and we'll be facing another 2-0 player next week. Kashmod falls to 1-1, and he'll be in the 1-1 bracket. As the Swiss tournament gets to as we get to the middle stages, we're gonna get more and more really, really good races as we get much more similar talent facing off against each other. And so I think week 3 is going to really start a lot of that. It's going to be super, super exciting to see what happens next week. I will say this, I do believe they're running GT Classic over there on SpeedGaming 5, so we're probably going to get over there pretty quickly, so that'll probably be wrapping up right about now.
And just
and then
real quick reminder on how the Swiss tournament leads into the bracket tournament. How many seeds will actually be entered into the bracket stage of the tournament out of our Swiss runners?
It's going to be 16. So I believe it's going to be a 6. There's going to be someone that's going to go 6-0. We'll have a 5-1. I'm assuming no ties. Really is Sloters and Andrew from the last multi-category tournament. But what we are going to do is for all the 4 and 2, we're going to have a big play-in race. That's going to be one of the main categories, either any percent Hundo or GT Classic, that will be chosen at random, and those players will all race against each other for the right to get those last spots. We don't know. I haven't done the math, and we've had some drops. So even if I had done the math, it would be wrong at this point. But it'll be a big race. It'll be super hype. And really looking forward to that one, and we'll see who the rest of the people in brackets are, and then they'll be seeded according to their initial seed, and that'll be the top 16. And like I said, the top 16, once we get to those brackets, best of 3, and anything goes. So you can see a whole lot. You're going to see 3 different categories, or up to 3 different categories, assuming 3 games from all the runners, and it'll be really fun to watch. I'm really, really hyped about that playoff setup we got. I guess I'll go over it one more time since we have a little bit of time, and I talked about it earlier, but maybe you weren't here at the beginning. It is going to be the runners will each veto one category, and then they will each choose a category to run for games 1 and 2. And then if it goes to a game 3, there are 7 categories total, 3 left. The game 3 will be randomly chosen from those last 3 categories. And I'm really looking forward to that setup. And again, shout outs to Kip for coming up with that format. I think he really hit the nail on the head with that one, and super excited to see how that works out.
Excellent.
But yeah,
anything else before we send it over?
That'll do it for us. Yeah, make sure you tune in to the other Speed Gaming channels. Let's just reiterate. Move over, catch the very tail end of GT Classic over on SpeedGaming 5, and then right here at 10 o'clock, we're going to have P12 versus Freya Spirit, Cerberoth on the call for that one. Don't know what category those 2 are running yet, so definitely tune in to see that one.
All right. Have a great evening, everybody. And thank you very much, Tracy M., for commentating with me.
Yeah, and always a pleasure. Always a pleasure.
And one last urge for you guys to go ahead and follow those runners. And if you want, follow the commentators. You don't have to. Follow Tracy.
Follow Cross.
But anyway, thank you very much. I will see you right back here on Speed Gaming 4 at 10 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time now for the next race. Thank you very much for watching. And I will see you all next mission in 10 minutes.